Voice is almost completely back. Namaste, guys. ChristianRLong, Life Enhancement Consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Monday evening. It's about a little after 5 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time here in Denver, Colorado. We got Amanda Vincent bringing it on, bringing the heat, making it happen. Clara, Atma Namaste. Kitty's a new person on. That's kind of funky. Hi, love. It's good to have you on, as always. Send me all the wedding pictures, please. I want to add it to my own scrapbook. I just want to jump on real quick now that I have somewhat of an opportunity to talk before my voice goes like this and this and this and this and this and this as the night rolls on, and then no voice whatsoever. But energy level is good. Nasal cavity is good. There's no soreness in the throat. It's just, I don't know, inability to talk. Ooh, I am invited. I like that. Yes. All right, you know where to send the invitation. Clara reunited with a 28-year flame. Aw, thank you. A 28-year flame. See what happens? We meet somebody, years goes by, we reconnect with them because there's a karmic connection. There's karma that has to be worked out with that person, and then look what happens. And then Brandy's on, Paula's on, Atma Namaste, and I wanted to jump on real quick and share with you a beautiful experience. So a friend of mine, a fellow Arhatic Yoga practitioner, Brandy Smith, you see her right there in the little comment section. She came out here with her beautiful daughter, Allie, who I thought was 3, but is actually 4, and I was expecting her shoes to be much tinier. But, you know, you get what you get, right? And so this was their first mommy-daughter vacation together, and they decided to go from Texas, come out to Colorado, and they spent 3 days in the mountains, stayed at a beautiful Airbnb, overlooking the mountains, ice skating rink, all these cool things to do in a little tiny mountain town, and it was magical. So she was like, well, I have one more day in Colorado, and I'd like to come out and spend some time with you. And I was like, sure. The caveat to that is my body isn't feeling very well. I'm going to need some rest, and prior to us solidifying everything, my voice had completely gone, so I didn't even know if I was going to be able to talk with her. But lo and behold, we were able to communicate. We got together this afternoon, and I thought to myself, well, we have the choice of going ice skating in downtown Denver. They went ice skating outside of Denver. So we have the opportunity to go ice skating in downtown Denver, or we have an opportunity to go to a really nice, really fancy, schmancy mall that's right by my house. So what do you think I would choose if I had the opportunity, recovering from a cold, to want to spend 2 hours outside in the frigid weather? Or do I want to stay in a nice, warm, cush mall? So I made a judgment call for the group, and I said, let's go to the mall, and we ended up having an amazing time. And you might be thinking, wait a minute, how is that possible to have an amazing time at a United States mall? Aren't all the malls the same, with all the same shops and all the same bells and whistles, right? All it is materialism, Christian. Aren't you this spiritual guy? Aren't you this energy healer? Aren't you this yogi that doesn't value any of those things? Well, that would be a misconception. Because as my teacher, Grandmaster Chogo Koksui says, the founder of modern pranic healing and Arhatic yoga, he says, it's difficult to meditate on an empty stomach. It's difficult to meditate on an empty stomach, meaning if your basic needs, wants, and desires are not fulfilled, meaning food, shelter, safety. Hey, Ashley, long time to have you on live, girl. Atma Namaste. If those lower needs are not met, it's very hard to go up and to fulfill the higher needs, such as self-actualization, while being on the spiritual path. But what I really liked about my time with Brandy today, her as a fellow Arhatic yoga practitioner of the past about, year and a half, almost 2 years, Brandy? You're going to have to remind me on this one. It was really beautiful to see the perspective of someone who is relatively new to Arhatic yoga in this lifetime. You're driving. Be safe. Be safe. And she was realizing as you practice very powerful advanced meditations like you learn in our Hatha Yoga, there's something that becomes accelerated within the individual. And what's accelerated are the seeds and the weeds within each person. So if you have a plot of land and you take fertilizer and you dump the fertilizer all over the land, is it only going to grow the grass? No, it's going to grow the grass and it's going to grow the weeds. The weeds within us are the negative tendencies that we have as human beings. Those negative tendencies could be greed, excessive sexual desire, excessive desire for power, jealousy, anger, vengefulness, delusion, dishonesty, all of these qualities that are deep within us that we have generated through multiple lifetimes of living, interacting with the world, with others, and with ourselves. So when we get on the spiritual path and we start meditating and doing very high-level meditation practices, what are we doing? We're bringing down a tremendous amount of spiritual energy, and the spiritual energy is fertilizer for the good and the not so good within us. So what would you say we have more of? Weeds or seeds, like good fruit? Most of us have more weeds than seeds or good fruit. So that's why purification is super, super, super important on the spiritual path. And I think many pranic healers or Hatha yogis and other spiritual practitioners do not spend a lot of time on the purification aspects, meaning removing the weeds, removing the weeds, removing the weeds, physically, etherically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Removing the weeds, removing the cause of the suffering. So, how do we do that effectively if we're not a pranic healer, if we're not a Hatha yogi? One of my favorite books of Grandmaster Choa Kuksui's. Master Choa wrote over 20 books. This is one of the little tiny ones. This is called the Golden Lotus Sutra book of compassionate objectivity. And within this book contains the 5 virtues that we deal with in pranic healing. Because by practicing the virtues consistently and persistently in your life, what you're doing is you're laying the foundation to live a great material and spiritual life. For instance, if you wanted to build a skyscraper, would you need a 10-foot foundation, or would you need a foundation that's a couple hundred feet? Right? The higher the building that's required, the deeper the foundation needs to be set ahead of time. So if you master a virtuous life early on in your spiritual practice, as more and more and more energy gets introduced to you, you will be able to handle it appropriately. So, what's another way of looking at it? Let me pop in a Halls. Remember these? What's up, Adam? So, talking about virtues. Lottery winners. We talked about this a couple days ago. So when somebody wins the lottery, they have a tremendous amount of money, income, concretized energy into their life. If they have not mastered the principle of moderation or the virtue of moderation and non-excessiveness, what is the likelihood they're going to properly manage that money? Not very likely. All that money comes in, all that energy comes in, but because they have not developed the virtue of moderation and non-excessiveness, all that money and more will go out. Have you noticed that After 5 years, 95% of lottery winners are worse off financially than before they won the actual lottery. Think about that. Yes, one of the virtues is generosity and non-stealing that they have mastered over a period of lifetimes. That's what's entitled them to receive a huge lump sum of prosperity. So in previous incarnations, this person was very giving of their time, giving of their money, giving of their resources, giving of their physical status, giving. But, as I understand it from Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui, in multiple lifetimes, these people refused to receive the energy of what they were giving out. So they're giving, and not receiving. How many of us know people like that, maybe even ourselves, that it's better to give than to receive? But karma always has to neutralize itself. Karma always has to balance itself out in some way, shape, or form, right? So, if these people are giving, and lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, they're not receiving, at some point, they're going to be put in a situation where they can win a tremendous amount of money to neutralize all the good karma that they planted in previous incarnations. Really fascinating. So that's what Brandy and I were able to discuss while at the mall in the kids section, where all the kids are running around, being loud, being adorable, being little kids. We were able to discuss the importance of practicing the virtues in our lives, because there's an assumption that if you're a spiritual person, your sole focus in life is meditation, meditation, and meditation. Meditation is one aspect of living a spiritual life. A more important aspect is character building, is being virtuous. So I highly recommend any and all of you to pick up this book at some point in your incarnation. It's called Compassionate Objectivity, the Golden Lotus Sutra books by Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui. You can get it on Amazon. Excuse me. You can get it on pranichealing.com, or I'm sorry, uspranichealing.com. Clara says, you need hot water, lemon, and honey. What if I drink some LaCroix? Hey Clara, I was finding out about LaCroix and how there's a misunderstanding of the what was it? The cockroach. What was it? The cockroach poison? It's not accurate. Because when you told me that, I looked it up and I read into it deeper, and there's a misunderstanding, actually, what the ingredients are. Because I can't give up my LaCroix. But, you know, I love you and I appreciate all the feedback. I don't have any honey right now. I have hot water. I have essential lemon oil. Essential lemon oil, does that make sense? But no honey. I have maple syrup, so that might work. But, yeah, me neither. So, I can feel my throat winding down because I'm expressing, I'm teaching, and so there are people courting. Whenever you're teaching and sharing knowledge between you and another person, that person is courting to you energetically through the throat, because that's how we're learning from each other. So you guys are listening to me and learning from me, even though these aren't my teachings, they're Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui's teachings. But you're plugging in energetically, and my body's still recovering from a cold, so you can see how the cold kind of keeps going and going and going. That's why I need to stop teaching sometimes. But I made a commitment. So, again, great book. Mastering this book at an early age and even at an older age, but mastering this book will transform your personal life, your professional life, your financial life, and your spiritual life. I highly recommend picking it up, reading it, and practicing it on a regular basis. And that's it. So, I love you guys very much. Thank you for joining me for this quick stream in the evening. If you're not following me on YouTube, definitely subscribe. We have 250 hours excuse me, of free content on there. And then if you're looking for healing, not now, but later on this week, go to ChristianRLong.com/services. ChristianRLong.com/services. I love you too, Clara. And let me know how I can assist you in your healing process. There's many, many things that we can do to help you with this process. I don't have anyone healing me right now. And when the body is low energetically, it's harder for it to do self-healing. Ta-da! So it's kind of where we're at. But I'll be as fresh as a daisy in the morning. And that's it, guys. So I love you very much. Have an amazing evening, an amazing week, and an amazing life. This is Christian R. Long, Life Enhancement Consultant. Atma. Namaste. Bye-bye. Jessica, watch the replay, girl.